Hi, I'm Carl Kopp, and I want to talk to you about creating a document from scratch, creating a document using another file or information from another file, getting help with your thoughts, and even getting some coaching. So let's go ahead and click on Document. I'm in Microsoft 365. I'm using the Copilot version. Click into this field and you can type what you want. Now, one of the secrets is to add the profile. So I'm going to say, as an instructional designer. Now this is going to help set the tone for the document. We'll do a design document for new employee onboarding. And we simply then hit the arrow and Copilot will begin drafting the document. And you can see everything that's highlighted in blue is the draft of the document. Now, one important thing to keep in mind as you go through this process is that when it's done drafting, if you want to make any changes, you need to do that before you type keep it. Keep it kind of sets it in stone. So to make any changes, let's go ahead and add something. So if we look through this document, we can see that design document for new employee onboarding. We have an introduction. We have goals and objectives, specific objectives. We have instructional strategies. But notice the goals and objectives ensure companies. So why don't we say make the objectives the ABCD format, and we'll go ahead and do that. And it's going to refine our draft. And now when we look at our objectives, it says audience, behavior, condition, and degree. So just by that little adding on the bottom, I'm able to change it. Now, again, once I click keep it, that document is cemented and I have to make changes the old-fashioned way with Word, highlighting a word and then changing it. Now, there's some other things we can do, so let's check that out. One of the other things that we can do is we can simply click on the Copilot icon here, Draft with Copilot, and we have a number of choices. Auto rewrite, make it shorter, make it formal, writing suggestions, visualize at a table. Let's go ahead and click on writing suggestions. And what this is going to do is give me specific suggestions so I can improve what I have highlighted. Here you can see it's indicating to add specific details about the welcome address so that it's not just a generic welcome address. It provides the detail to maybe the person that's going to be giving that address. So that can be handy when expanding the document or adding additional information. Let's highlight the entire bulleted list and let's click on Copilot again and see what else it can do. One of the things it can do is auto rewrite. So if I wanted this to rewrite this, it will go through that process and do it. And once it's done, here, leadership welcome statement instead of address, explanation of the company's mission, core values. So it rewrote it a little bit and not a lot of information here to rewrite. But then I can click replace and it will replace the entire section that I just did. So that's kind of a nice feature as well. It's going to go ahead and do that. Now I can also click here and I can say, that's really interesting, but maybe I want a summary somewhere. So a summary here might not be a good place to do it, but let's go down to the end of the document and we have a conclusion, but let's delete this conclusion and let's go ahead and click on Copilot and say insert a summary. So that's going to go through the whole draft and give me a summary. And maybe I say make it more informal and fun. One of the things that I always forget, I always like to hit enter after this, but you can't hit enter. You always have to hit that little blue arrow to go ahead and generate it. So now it's going to refine and generate my summary after I did it. So it has like, hey, nailing the tech stuff, rollout plan, that's great. Oh, maybe it went too far. Maybe I say make it more professional, business, tone, and approach. And then I can go ahead and click on that and generate that as well. Now, one more thing, you could also say, and not appropriate for this document, but you might say, make it a 9th grade reading level. And now we hit the blue arrow and it's going to redraft that as a 9th grade reading level. I find the reading level element when we're working with subject matter experts and clients and they're like, hey, our learners learn at this particular reading level, that can become very helpful, especially when you get big, heavy documents from subject matter experts. Okay, so we have what we want, the right reading level. We click keep it, and boom, we've got it. So now we have that particular information. Now, another thing that you can do is do this keep writing this, which I really like. This allows me to expand. So what I want it to do, so I can come here with a sentence. Um, let's talk about technology set up for the program. I want to, and then I ran out of what am I going to say? I don't know. So I click here and it says keep writing this. And what it's going to do is going to take my initial thought and expand that thought. So now it says, hey, I want to delve into this selection and integration of tools to ensure flawless onboarding experience. And then it talks about the learning management system. So this really nice feature allows me to continue a thought or to come up with a thought or an idea. And sometimes I'll go, okay, that's great, I'll keep it. But I don't like about this resource repository thing that's not me. So I might delete it and change it or modify it. But it really gives me that ability to keep on rewriting. And I can even expand what I've already expanded on and have it go more and more. So this really helps me when I'm stuck. I have writer's block. I can keep on writing and it's going to expand my thoughts and concepts. Another nice feature is it will let me lengthen or shorten content. So here I highlight this, I click on Copilot, and down here it gives me my choices. I want to make that shorter, and so it's going to go ahead and shorten the content. Now notice it doesn't dump it right in. I have to decide if I like that, or I can even insert it below if I want to compare the two. So sometimes I'll insert it below and I'll kind of look at this and I'll look at that and I'll say, yeah, that's good. And I'm going to go ahead and delete this section of it. So that's kind of a nice feature as well that you can do, shortening of longer things that you've written. Now, we created that entire document from scratch. We just typed in a prompt and it gave us information. But what if we have source documents? So if we come up to Microsoft, let's go ahead and use a source document as part of our development process. So now when I prompt Copilot, I can say, as an instructional designer, create an onboarding program based on the attached document. And what Copilot will do is it will add additional detailed information, and I simply tab over. So it actually fills in more of my prompt. And this is nice because it can provide the detail that I might want. So that's enough. I'm not going to go on forever. And then I'm going to click on my paperclip and it's going to grab the content that I want. Well, I need to grab it, but it's going to give me the choices. And I have made up some content for this company called Automatrix Manufacturing Solutions. And I'm going to grab that content. Now, Automatrix Manufacturing Solutions is simply a company that does creation of robots for building cars, and I generate it. And so now when it generates the onboarding program, it will use information from my company and put it in there, or basically uses information from the document and puts that information in there. So now I have an onboarding document that references Automatrix and grabs their information, their values, and their content. So it's a really nice feature that you can reference specific documents that you create using Copilot. Now, one other thing that Copilot can do is some coaching. So if I click on Copilot, it brings up my sidebar and I can ask a question. I can say, where in this document do I need more detail? Then I hit the blue arrow and it's going to go ahead and it's going to examine and evaluate my document and give me suggestions for more detail. So you can see here I've got a lot more detail, and I'm also, you can see I'm running low on credits, so you may run into that problem as well. You can just buy more credits or wait for the next month. But here are the suggestions that were given: a program overview, orientation, also gives me products and capabilities, so I can add that information as well. I really like this feature. I can insert that, and it's going to take that information and put it right into my document. Now, you have to be careful. Here it says, would you like more suggestions? I don't want to leave that into my document, of course. If I'm going to publish that or if I'm going to use that for work, I don't want that suggestion in there. So you need to check things out and make sure that everything's good. But it actually inserted that, so I have that information there. And I can ask lots of other questions as well. I can suggest ways to enhance the feedback mechanisms that I have in there. I can provide specific examples. I can all do those things. I can even say, where in a large organization, where should I route this document for approval? I can go ahead and click on send, and it will send it. And now it's looking for responses, and it's going to give me some more organization. And here it says, in a large organization, the approval process for a new document is, immediate supervisor, maybe HR, maybe training and development. So it even gives me suggestions on where this document should go, in addition to suggestions as I'm creating the document. One more thing you may want to consider is having Copilot add images to your document. So I asked it to add an image of a computer, and I click on it, and now it's going to go and grab images for me. And these images, then I can insert them into my document. So I've got an old Mac here, got another old Mac. Let's put the old Mac in there for fun. I click on insert, and it's going to put that into my document. And if I scroll down here, we can see there is the image. So Copilot not only drafts the document for you from scratch or input from another document, but it also can create images. These are some of the things that Copilot does to help you get better at what you do. And remember, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel so I can buy more credits so I can keep making more of these videos.